The following is a special presentation of Ashland University's College of Arts and Sciences.
Welcome to the CAS Spotlight, a show where we spotlight the different staff, faculty, and departments in the College of Arts and Sciences. I'm your host, Rebecca Ribley. With 17 departments, Ashland's College of Arts and Sciences encompasses a wide range of programs, with everything from art to history, biology to English, mathematics to communication studies, just to name a few. Today in the Spotlight, we will be talking about Ashland University's Communication Studies program and previewing their new online Master of Arts in Health and Risk Communication degree. With us, we have the chair of the Ashland University Comm Studies Department, Dr. Theodore Avtgis. Dr. Avtgis, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Rebecca. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, to start out, I know that the Comm Studies Department is fairly new to the College of Arts and Sciences. You guys kind of began when JDM began. So can you tell me a little bit about what you guys are and what you offer?
Sure. I came in 2011, took over the unit that was newly established. At that point, they had a different major structure, and one of the goals that I set forth was to really niche some of the programming, so that what I dreamed of was an enhanced sport communication program, a combined public relations and strategic communication major program, and then the first ever in the country an undergraduate program in health and risk communication.
Okay, so I know that you've done a lot with communication studies. Can you tell us a little bit about your accomplishments?
Sure. I graduated in 1999 from Kent State University. Then I went down to West Virginia University for 1 year, and then up to St. John's in Queens, New York for 3, and then was recruited back to West Virginia over a dozen years. I still hold an adjunct associate professor position in the School of Medicine at West Virginia University because of my work with first responders. We do a lot of work with first responders and communicating from the field to definitive care. There's a lot of interest in that. There's a lot of need for that. In one study, we were able to cut down the amount of time it takes to get a trauma patient from the field to definitive care by 37 minutes, and that's simply by mainstreaming the communication protocols.
Okay. Now, what drew you to this field? Why do you feel so passionate about it?
Because when you look at communication studies as a discipline, a lot of disciplines get accused of being siloed, meaning people of like interest talk to people of like interest and they don't share information. Well, medicine is a medicine. Health is health. Health is not communication. So much of helping people, whether it be first responders in a crisis situation or healing someone with cancer, communication and relationships play such a vast role in that. Yet, as experts, we're not getting out there into those designations. So we took a bold step, and we created a major that legitimizes communication studies as a player in this healthcare process.
Okay. So what kind of research are you currently involved in? Can you talk about it a little bit?
Sure. Currently, we're assessing the efficacy and survivability rates of people who are using our new MISER protocol, which stands for mechanism of injury, vital signs, and then the environment in which the accident happened and the patient's response to treatment. We did an experiment in 2009. And now we're looking at the mortality rates of those people who were transferred using the protocol, as opposed to mortality rates of those who were not using the protocol. That's just one of many studies. Other studies we're looking at is crisis messaging studies, where we're creating messages and looking at the saturation of those messages. We were working with the city, a couple of our interns, in platforming their safety messages, so that we can get some information out to affected publics before disaster strikes. We just went through a cold snap, and how do we let people know where they can get warm, who to call, what to say when you call. So all of that is very interesting, and all of that is communication. While it involves health and why it involves safety, all of that is messaging.
After this short break, we'll be back with more on Ashland's Communication Studies Department right after this.
Above everything else, above all of the experience that we get, you develop a second family through the journalism department. We're not just students, it's not a divided student-faculty relationship. You really get to know everybody, and you can call the journalism department your home. And when you can call a department your home and you're comfortable around all of those people, you're able to develop skills that you might be afraid to kind of go for otherwise, but we're able to push each other and give each other that confidence. And I think that above the experience, that gives us that extra little push that other schools don't have.
If you're just joining us, our guest today in the Spotlight is Dr. Ted Avtgis. All right, on to more about the Health and Risk Communications program. Here at Ashland, you have an undergrad program. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. The undergrad in health and risk communication came about as a need to fulfill a market need. As you know, higher education at all levels is struggling somewhat. One of those struggles is relevancy. Parents and students are looking at degree programs not only to get to be intellectually stimulated, but also they're looking at job prospects as well. The two most significantly growing sectors are health and safety. So what we wanted to do was provide a truly interdisciplinary education that would translate into jobs. Now, according to the government, looking at health and risk as part of a public relations kind of sector, we're looking at 26% job growth by 2018. So the jobs will be there. And one thing we did was we had an 8-hour retreat where we literally took every single course offered by AU, and we said, how can this be of significance or contribute to the education in health and risk? So what that ended up being is our students who are majoring in health and risk communication will be utilizing 3 different colleges here. They'll be going over to the College of Business to study things such as game theory. They'll be going over to the College of Nursing and Health Sciences for studying public health. They'll be studying within the department and the College of Arts and Sciences as well. So we have them truly in a multidisciplinary approach. And that has really gone over well. We've gotten a lot of transfer students from other departments and majors. The issue with health and risk is not whether or not people like it or don't like it, they don't know what it is. So when I talk to groups of people about it, and they realize they want to be in the health sector, but maybe not necessarily be a nurse or an athletic trainer. They want to be a messenger. They want to do the messaging, getting those messages out, platforming those messages. So there's a lot of interest in it, and the marketplace demands it.
So what kind of jobs could those students get after they got their undergrad?
Well, any industry needs a person like this. So whether it be in public relations, whether it be a risk manager, whether it be a public safety officer, whether it be a spokesperson for an organization when they have to recall or when they have to get a message out to keep certain public safe, there's a variety of jobs that a communication professional can fulfill. We're just looking at it from 2 of the most widely growing sectors of the economy.
Okay. You commented that we're getting transfer students here for that program. What do we offer that other schools don't?
It is the only undergraduate program of its kind in the nation. So when people hear about it, they want to check it out. They want to come. So we're not only getting transfer students, we're getting people from other departments within the university. Because people think they know what certain things are until they actually investigate them and realize that, I do want to be around safety, I do want to be around health, but I don't necessarily want to do a particular job.
And when did that launch? Did that launch in 2011 when you entered, or?
No, that was a year-long process. It just launched this September, or this August in the fall semester. And so right now, between people who have changed majors, or picked up the major coming in, we're at about 8 to 10 health and risk communication majors, and that's without any advertising. This year will be telling, because this year we actually had an opportunity to have admissions folks be able to go out there and sell the major.
Are Are you getting contacted by anyone, asking questions about it, or how are people perceiving it?
Very well. I was probably about 2 months ago, I was contacted by the Journal of Risk and Crisis Communication, which is located in London. They have 5 different areas throughout Europe, and they were very happy. They thought this was a giant step forward, and they did a comprehensive interview with me that is on their website about why we did what we did, why we took the bold moves. Now, in the Department of Communication Studies, we are bucking the trend. The trend is to make these mega majors under the generic communication studies. What we've done was really double down, and we've got specialized degrees in health and risk, sport communication, and public relations and strategic communication. And that is yielding basically both net new students as well as a revigorated culture.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say about the undergrad program before we go to a break?
No, feel free to contact us, and we'll be glad to send you out information, anybody who has an interest in that.
After this break, we'll be back with more on Ashland's Comm Studies Department, and we'll talk about their new Master's Online Health and Risk Communication program.
Really, that's what I feel separates this department. The professors are great, but the ability to just do media right away. You're not going to learn anywhere near as much in the classroom as you do just being out there, reporting on something you have no idea what you're talking about. Figure it out. They expect you to mess up. They just want you to make the mistakes now, so when you're graduated, you don't make the mistakes then.
If you're just joining us, our guest in today's Spotlight is Dr. Theodore Avtgis. All right, so now we're gonna head over and talk about the online master's program in health and risk communications. This is a huge deal, and you guys are just about to launch, is that correct?
Correct. We launch on March 10th.
Okay, so what does the master's program have that the undergraduate program doesn't have?
Well, as you know, society's changing, and in a post 9/11 world, we can no longer separate health and safety. They're inextricably linked. We saw that myriad of times, including the Boston bombings, the Boston Marathon bombings, as well as the Olympics at Sochi, the concerns they have. The need for graduate education is becoming more in demand. As education changes and people's conceptualization of education changes, what's being looked at now is how do you niche programs that give people particular skill sets that are not only going to serve them tomorrow, but in 30, 40 years. So in creating the online master's program, Ashland is a smaller school. So the ability to have faculty to service such a large program would be very difficult. So what we did was truly innovative. We wanted to give a 100% online program because the target market is going to be health and safety people who are working. We're not necessarily going after the 22-year-old. We are going after, however, those mid to late career folks who are looking for a change. And so what we did was we went throughout the country identifying top scholars and top practitioners in the field of health and risk communication. And we asked them to be distinguished visiting faculty. And so what we've amassed is over a dozen top scholars throughout the country who are going to serve as faculty in addition to the quality faculty that we have here in the Department of Communication Studies.
Okay, so what's your cap? How many students can you take for that online program?
Well, the uniqueness is it's going to be rolling out in a constant 12-week cycle. And Ashland is always concerned with giving top-notch education. So we cap our classes, even our online classes, at 22. And that's not going to change because we want to give that educational experience. We want to give these people a really unique opportunity to expand their lives and expand their skill sets in both health and safety sectors.
So can you give me an example on some kind of classes that they would be taking?
Sure. We have classes in risk communication. We have classes in crisis communication, health communication. In fact, I was just speaking to a gentleman today who owns an engineering risk firm. So he goes in and he looks at infrastructure and he identifies risks. And when I talked to him about the program, he said, "This is ideal. I didn't know it was there." So when you frame it differently, it's going to appeal to a lot of people. So there's a lot of interest in it, And we're so excited to see it launch in March 10th. So we have, it's 30 credit hours. We will be studying health informatics, the use of health, use of information in health. We'll be studying organizational communication. We'll be studying strategic communication, so that at the end of all this process, this graduate degree is only 30 hours, can be completed in as little as 15 months. So it really is going to appeal to both it makes economic sense, it makes sense from a time standpoint, and most importantly, the quality educational experience they get is bar none the best in the nation, because we have top scholars from throughout the nation.
So where is the farthest place that you've gotten a student that's going to be partaking in this online program?
We've got Florida, Michigan. We have 2 applicants from Ghana. And we expect we haven't even really started advertising. And so we have a ad going out in Ohio Magazine for nurses. It's going to hit over 100,000 nurses. And we are advertising in the Emergency Management Journal. So we expect to get a lot of exposure there.
Now, I know you hit on this with the undergrad program. You said that it's a program that no other university has. What about this online program? Is that how this is as well?
There are Master of Arts degrees and PhDs in health and risk communication. However, those are all brick and mortar. You have to attend the university physically in order to get it. This is the only 100% online MA in health and risk communication.
After this break, we'll be back and we will talk more about the online program.
What makes our journalism and digital media department unique from maybe some of the other colleges and universities in Ohio is that we offer the opportunity for students to get involved. We don't ask them to go off and take their general classes and come back in 2 years. We ask them to get involved from the very first day.
If you're just joining us, our guest in today's Spotlight is Dr. Ted Avtgis. All right, we're gonna close up with a couple more questions. First of all, who exactly are you targeting for this online program?
As I said before, we're targeting multiple audiences. We're targeting safety, people in the safety sectors, whether that be in law enforcement or in any sort of first responder capacity, but we're also targeting people in health. We're also targeting people in public relations, because this isn't just about safety and health, but it's also about all organizations. We live in a very interesting time where corporate responsibility is being demanded by the publics. And part of corporate responsibility is creating messages that enhance the organization's credibility. So it's not just a health-related issue, a risk-related issue, or a crisis issue. A crisis can be named anything. If we have a printing press and we start printing books wrong, well, it's a crisis. It's an economic crisis that will affect our different publics. If we have to put a boil water order through, how do we get that message so that we keep the public safe? So it's a wide variety of people, many different political persuasions, because the vast different careers that they're coming from, as well as people who simply want a change. They simply want to change. And a 15-month investment at a very, in a very short period of time can have the opportunity to recreate themselves.
Obviously, this is a very exciting time for the Department of Communication Studies here at Ashland. What are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to it all. To see something go from an idea into an actual structure is really, really exciting. I believe we're doing some really great things in the department research-wise. We have a culture that is very buzzing right now, and we want to just ride that wave, because everything is new and everything is really innovative and entrepreneurial. And I do believe that the future of higher education, we're going to have to be entrepreneurial, and we're going to have to be innovative if we're going to stay competitive.
Now, if students are interested in getting in touch with the Communication Studies Department, how would they do that?
If students are interested in our undergraduate program in health and risk communication, they should go to the website, the department website, and you can get there through the College of Arts and Sciences website. Or if you're interested in the Master of Arts in Health and Risk Communication, otherwise known as the MARC, you can visit our website at www.ashland.edu/MAHRC. That's www.ashland.edu/MAHRC, or call Wendy Hall at 419-207-6010. That's Wendy Hall at 419-207-6010.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on today. This is a very exciting time for your department, and I'm very excited for you. So we really appreciate having you on.
Thank you, Rebecca. It's been a pleasure.
We'll be back with another look inside Ashland University's College of Arts and Sciences on the next edition of the CAS Spotlight. For all of us in our Center for the Arts studios, I'm your host, Rebecca Ribley. Thank you for joining us. So long, everyone.